So let's get some glue on them now. Okay, relays in, just glue gunned into the bottom of the box. So you're looking like that. So as I said, each relay corresponds to the micro switch that we're fitted inside the set. So all you're doing is the push buttons on the front of the radio, simply click the micro switch, goes down that multi-lead here so you can quick disconnect. Then all it does is just emulates the same action with the relay there, but a corresponding LED goes on. So when the radio's in the dash, you can look at this box and just make sure that it's operating the switches. Power, fast forward, rewind, and mode switch. Mode switch switches from your USB stick that's fitted on the steering column, or it switches back to the hard drive. Well, not the hard drive, but the flash card that's permanently in the vehicle with all your classic songs on, as I explained earlier on. Now what I've got to do is just put the power to each LED to each coil, and then a common resistor across so that they've all got the same feed. The LEDs and the relays are powered by a negative, so that they get a positive common rail. So we'll put a positive common rail on, and then each wire then, got to drill a hole in this, each wire then goes to each relay. So I'll get that mocked up and running on the bench. We'll get this clicking in a minute. Any second now we'll have this running and clicking, and the LEDs will be lit. Little 12-volt power pack there ready for testing, and we're ready to rock. Okay, let me solder this stuff up now. Moving fast. Okay, so LEDs wired up, relays glued in, wired up. So I've got power to it now off the little power pack there. There's a temporary air hook up just there, so that'll be neatened up later. Flip it round, you can see we've got a power light on now. One of the LEDs, that's the power indicator for the MP3. So flipping across to the buttons now on the set. Hold on while I switch off this overhead light. I'll just rest that on my knee. So power on the switch, so this would be MP3. So we're getting through there. Okay, and then track rewind. So rewind LEDs on. Fast forward LED. Just pressing the front of the switch. So that's getting through, and then mode switch. Changed mode. So all micro switches have been a success. That's a nice action actually. I'm just lightly pressing that. I don't have to press too hard. So there's me skipping my MP3 tracks, fast forward. There's me rewinding. And there's power on, power off. So that's how it works. Right, so that's working. This box is now ready to have the contacts for the MP3 control soldered across each relay. So each relay there will control a certain function on the MP3 module when it arrives. For now our interface box is built. We can close the radio up and fit it into the dash now and start testing the radio. Test the output of the radio, connect the electric aerial feed. The internal work on the radio is now complete, which is what I was trying to do. So now I can work backwards and just go back from this. I just need to do the audio switch now. At the back here is a DIN socket which interrupts the audio to the amp. It routes it from either the radio or from the cassette deck, which was designed to plug in the back of this. We're going to be putting in MP3 of course, so find those audio cables now, and then I'm going to get a mock audio feed fed into this, get a speaker connected, and we're going to start experimenting with that. This relay here at the side, the power relay, will be responsible for switching the audio input. Okay, so that'll take it from either the radio source or from the MP3 source, and it'll go down an audio line, a screened cable, into the back of this via a DIN plug, which is here. And then that's our audio sorted, so we should be able to switch audio source. So I'll mock this up. I'll connect a little iPod to it for now, just for now, on a jack. And with that iPod, I can then, we're going to put a panel socket here for a 3.5 jack. We'll then connect our player into the side jack, and then we'll switch this on. The radio will be on, we'll push that button in, and then it'll flip to this. and then you'll have your MP3 running. So we should be able to get that going today with a sort of my temporary iPad that I've got, just using the jack. And then obviously I won't use the fast forward controls because my iPad's not designed to have these wires soldered into it, but you get what I mean. Once it's all set up, it'll make a bit more sense. It's a bit confusing if you're not quite following what I'm trying to do. I think you'll get it. It's not so bad. Okay, audio signal to switch now. That's the next job. Audio signal. A quick jump ahead, and we're already on with MP3 playing. Told you I wouldn't hang around. All right, so how do we work it? Radio button there, so we can tune now. Now I'm indoors, so I'm not going to get good reception. Right, so there we go. You get the idea. Okay, so normal radio. These buttons just perform as they should with your band change. I'll get nothing in here, of course, until we get the aerial properly connected. So there we have it. So we've got a radio, then you want your MP3. Hit this, and then we're on. Now, normally what would happen is you'd press these advanced track buttons and we'd have the tracks jumping on the relays here, but because I'm just using a Walkman to test it, the inputs on that, you see, so we can't do it. We need to get the track skip relays wired. Now they're all working off the set. There's your power. Okay, so you want to do track skip, you go like that. Now I'd be jumping tracks, rewinding track, and then swapping my memory card there. That's it's all set up. This is ready to go back in to the dashboard. The multi-plugs at the back for the phono, electric aerials fitted there, output for electric aerial. There's your fast forward controls. Let's light you up. So that's set up. Just got some rough speakers there, just testing it out. I'm going to put the lid on that. It's going to go into the dash, and we can see how she looks built into the dashboard. So MP3 part 1 of it's done. Just waiting for the module to arrive in the post so we can connect it up to this interface. Let's start wiring that in now anyway. Let's make a start. Alright, I've finished the interface box. So you can see everything in there now. You got your 4 relays there, LEDs at the top, you saw those earlier. Now I've got the phono input jack, the 3.5 socket, power feed to the right. Grey cable is the audio in and out to the set. Then you've got that next white cable there, that's the switch inputs to the MP3 and the mode control switch contacts. Left hand side the switch inputs to the relays from the micro switches. So a pretty basic setup, looks more complex than what it actually is. Always does when you cram them all into one box, and as you build it up, if you were to just first look at it, I suppose you'd think what the hell's going on in there, but it's nothing, it's just relays and wires and lights. That's the unit from the front. We'll shortly be powering it up, giving it a final test. I can test it with this little MP3 player there, although that's not the best input for it. It's designed to have a line out input, whereas that's going to be headphones out, so there'll be some distortion. So just boxing it up, I've got some glue gun and some wire cables there to stop these pulling out. Pretty much all bolted up and ready to go. Cover can go on that now, and that's now a standalone unit. So we'll start to fit it all into the dash and look at how we're going to mount this behind the dash next, and then we'll have it running as well, get a speaker wired up. Okay, so I just thought I'd show you that completed unit, that interface unit. And there we go. Alright, I've got the set into the dash there, you can see how it's set up. So we're on the radio. Just gonna have a play. you've got your radio there, it's just straightforward. No power on the indicators here. Press the MP3 button and you get your telltale light coming up there. You see the blue, see that going off and on, very subtle. Power light lights up. We're now on MP3. Fast forward control buttons. Fast forward. Bring it up for you so you can see. Mode switch. So that's that one, that's mode. So we're all running, we're ready now to connect this spare cable here to the MP3 module, and that'll be controlled then. So jack socket in for the audio. Currently got this little iPod playing. So we just flick through there and you can see. So there we have it. First setup. And then back to the radio. Choose your station. Tune in. Obviously I'm in the garage so I get no aerial, but get the idea. Now we have it. So that's that for today. That's the Sunday, the 18th of Jan. Built the MPU control unit, MP3 control units. Got the radio sort of in position so we know where we're lying there with the dash. Looks quite nice in there, quite happy with that layout. So we'll leave that for today and we'll see what next week brings. So that's the end of the MP3 build for now. I'll take you around the back so you can see how it all works. Alright, it's getting a bit messy but we're going to tidy all that up. You've got your power feed to your radio, you've got your electric aerial out, you've got your relay control out, there's your aerial, electric aerial there. We've got to tidy all this up now and make a loom. I've doubled up off the radio feed into a twin output, so we've got the MP3 output, power feed for the MP3 module and power output for the radio. We need a permanent live now for the electric aerial so it can retract when you switch off, but that's running as well. So we're up and going there. Some crappy speakers, doesn't sound so good, but that's the setup. So we're rocking at the moment.